are not going to get anywhere in life, spiritually or otherwise, until you come to that point where you don't give a damn what people think about you. As long as you worry about what other people think about you, you will be mediocre. It only matters what you believe about yourself. Believe in yourself as a successful person. Believe that you can and you will. But until you believe you can, you won't.
Peace and elevation, family. It's your boy Drew from Nora, the living survival manual, here to teach you different ways to see your greatness by investing in yourself.
Supreme peace and constant elevation. Supreme peace and constant elevation. Elevation. See your greatness. You know it. Feel the pressure sitting on your shoulders from the weight of it all. Struggling to see yourself become what you believe in. All the concentration leaves you falling flat upon your face. Competing outwardly within the hamster wheel of the rat race. Society calls for you to be constricted, bound to the vision of the life they want you living. Success measured by the other people's agenda to stick you in comparison to the 1% of the winners. But you got a soul inside, and so am I. Pursuing my soul's divine mission to be so alive. I'm holding my mind accountable because it coincides with all the decisions to be on this journey of growing like the street lights coming on. It's time to go inside, deep within the confines of the spirit. Yeah, it's morphin' time. Power Ranger, more like Captain Planet when it all combines. And still I rise, and still I climb to the place of fulfillment, in the space of commitment. In this maze, you're still winning no matter what the condition is. As you look up beyond the sky, watch how you break the ceiling. Many years of figuring out life to be, ain't gonna witness it's a miracle to be you, the spiritual interwoven with everything that you do. You finally see that all the hard work ain't going vain when you're tilling within your garden and everything starts to bloom. Yeah, the flame in your heart, the passion to keep going, igniting the spark. Your soul feeling light in the midst of the dark. Develop the mind for your journey you embark. You see, life is what you make it. Supreme peace and constant elevation. Wisdom, prayer, and application. It's about time you see your greatness. It's about time that you see your greatness. It's about time you see your greatness. Supreme peace and constant elevation. It's about time you see your greatness. You know it. SYG, see your greatness. And DSV.
Looking to enhance your brand or develop skills that build meaningful connections? See Your Greatness Studios is Richmond's leading platform for content creation, brand development, and personal growth. We provide creators, entrepreneurs, and professionals with essential tools and resources, from photography to podcasting to mentorship and more. Explore how we can support your journey and help you achieve and sustain excellence.
Yes, Zersky, peace, love, and light. It's the God Lord Christopher, the living survival manual, and I'm back with another download straight from the cosmos. Remember, someone has to see your greatness. Why not start with yourself? Stay blessed, always finesse. Definitely trust the Most High's process, the realest keys to success. Listen, family, we have a great episode that we're going to talk about tonight. Tonight we're going to talk about mindfulness and gratitude. And I feel as though, I wanted to bring up a special guest that is able to, articulate that in an amazing way. He has already been doing it in an amazing way through his artistry, right? This guy, he is a Richmond native, right? 19 years old. He loves his art, sports, and he creates with a unique passion for oil paintings for top athletes from Travis Hunter, DeAndre Hopkins, and his work has also been recognized on Fox News, Richmond Times, and so many other platforms. But before we bring him on, I have to go ahead and give out a disclaimer first. And after I get my disclaimer out, we're going to dive into some amazing conversation, okay? So the vibes here at SYG Studios are to motivate, educate, and enlighten people to achieve greatness through seeking new ways to invest in themselves. Everything is high level. What we think, what we say, how we feel, and how we act. But before we get into the energy tonight, take the time to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, family. We love engagement over here, and we understand that a village pushes the trend, not just one individual. So the support is much, much appreciated. Take the time to visit this link. That's how you join the SYG community on all social platforms. Our aim is to not only grow this brand, but reach at least thousands of individuals who want, need, and are seeking knowledge and a different form of how to live in a more abundant lifestyle. Now, with all the information that will be provided tonight, I do have to again send out this disclaimer. Please take the time to do your own research. It's very, very vital. For my content is intended to be used for motivational purposes, some educational purposes only, all right? Always do your own analysis based on your own current circumstances. Now, with all that, let's all get together, step into our God body energy, and see our greatness. What I want to do now, I want to go ahead and bring to the floor my guy, Mr. Kyan Patel. How you doing, brother?
So,
How you feeling? Doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. One, I want to say, look, pleasure and an honor to be able to have you up here. I kind of want to, give give the audience a spill about how we kind of met. Yeah. So, I saw your painting. Actually, it was on Kai Sanat and Travis Hunter's stream. There was a stream that he was showing his painting. He was like, "Look, man, I got this dope painting. I got somebody that could do that for you. And Kai, he always gotta, outdo the next person." So he showed his painting too. But I was very intrigued because it was just a different style that I'd never seen before, personally, right? It was almost given like that big head type of feel with your own spin, with your own creativity. And it instantly made me like go searching, like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? And funny enough, I stumbled across your page and I seen 804 in the bio. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, there's no way possible that this kid, is a Richmond native, like right down the street from me. So this is my first time telling you that was pretty much like my gateway in. Like, look, we got something in common. Maybe if I tell him, like, look, I'm from the 804 too, maybe he'll respond, maybe not, but I'm gonna shoot my shot in the DMs, right? Yeah. So you quickly responded and you said, you'll get with your team, things of that nature, rightfully so. And then you got back with me real quick and you wanted to hear more details, right? Now here's where it gets funny, family. Here's where it gets funny. So he's like, tell me more about it. And I just signed up for this automated system called Mini Chat, right? And basically when you say certain words or you ask certain questions, it just gives a whole spiel about what my brand is about. Instantly, I realized like I just got blocked.
Yeah, I thought it was a bot.
Yeah, and you should have seen me at the house, man. I'm like, babe, no, I think he blocked me. I think he blocked me. I think he thinks I'm a bot or something. And so I was like, look, babe, no, I can't let this go. You gotta DM him for me. You gotta. And she shot you a DM. Then I had my other friend. I said, bro, like, I gotta have him on the podcast. Like, please DM him and tell him I'm not a bot. You realize that I wasn't a bot and I was able to get you up here, man.
I thought you were a bot at first, but we got all straight.
So what was going through your mind when I was trying to, because that was actually me typing it to you, the information, but I was copying and pasting it. So I was just trying to like pretty much get like all that I do on the platform and what I do. What was going through your mind when you saw that?
No, when I saw that, I just thought I was like with some of my friends, some of my sweet mates, and I was like, wait, low key, this might be a bot, and we're looking at it, and it's like automated messages, and I'm like, wait, I can't be getting hacked right now. So I went and blocked you. But then when I saw your wife and then I think your friend messaged me and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, okay. Makes sense. So I unblocked you
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
shout out to the GOAT, man. He's actually this is him right here. This is him right
Oh, okay.
here. Yeah, he's actually in the chat right now. It's like, hey, listen, Dante, thank you, thank you for for doing the most hard work for me, man. But I ain't gonna hold up too much time with with that. I wanted to just kind of start getting into the topic of the night, right? And why I personally felt like you would have been perfect for this. I don't know if you have were able to kind of catch the themes of what I like to talk about on this channel, but a lot of it deals with personal development. A lot of it deals with getting out of a lost space and understanding that we all have a sense of creativity within us, right? It just takes a little push sometimes to kind of bring that out of us, right? And for me, just again, just seeing your artwork and the consistency, I knew that you would be great for this, conversation. And tonight's conversation is about, just mindfulness and gratitude, right? And one of the things I wanted to ask you, well, actually, before I even get into asking you, tell the audience, a little bit of about yourself, and then we'll get into the questions about, the topic for the night.
Yeah, most definitely. So I'm a 19-year-old student from Richmond, of course, like we talked about. I go to Wake Forest University, and I basically what I do is I create paintings for college and professional athletes. I've been doing it for around 3 years now, and I create these custom paintings and I work directly with the athlete to create these one-on-one paintings for themselves. And I worked with a ton of different people. Most college, I've worked with a lot of big college guys, like a lot of college quarterbacks, a lot of star basketball players, and I'm starting to get more into pro sports with a lot of NFL guys. I'm kind of slowly getting into more NBA, MLB, and kind of just getting big, kind of growing in those realms where I can get more into professional sports. But my big thing is always working with the athlete one-on-one. They choose the picture, like me and him or me and her will both decide what picture we're going to work on. They'll be fully a part of the process, and it's like a whole kind of thing where the athlete gets to be as much a part of it as I am when I'm making it.
Okay. So let's talk about how you even got into that. Because after I was looking at your profile, and I seen that you're actually in sports too, right? Like you played soccer or something like that.
Yeah, I played soccer all through my life. I played travel soccer, varsity soccer, all through high school, middle school. Like my entire life, I played soccer, and so so I was always into sports, and I always played it. Well, soccer is the only sport I really played. But I always was into sports as watching it. I was really big into NFL football. I was really big into college basketball, and I was always into sports. But then definitely working with all these athletes have grown my interest for all different types of sports a lot more. Just because a lot of the guys I'm working with, it's really cool. Like if I'm working with these guys, to be watching them on TV on the weekends or stuff like that, and seeing them on social media, seeing them making these crazy plays and stuff. So over the past years, I've gotten a lot more into watching sports, but I definitely played sports my entire life growing up.
Okay. So within that, where did I guess the art start coming in? Was it always a thing that you was doing simultaneously growing up, or was it something that you got into later on in life, or?
Yeah, so basically my art background is my mom went to art school in New York. She went to Pratt, and so did my grandparents. They didn't go to art school, but they were really into the arts. And so on my mom's side of the family, they've been very creative and very naturally gifted with the arts. And so I was born with more of a natural gift for the arts, as I took classes, a good amount of classes for a few years, but a lot of it was kind of natural talent. And so my mom growing up, she always pushed the arts, especially with me, as I'm the oldest of 3 siblings. She always pushed it with me to kind of always be doing it and stay creative, stay passionate about the arts. But it kind of didn't all start where I started focusing majority of my time on the arts until around, because I kind of saw it as a fun little hobby I do on the side, and I didn't see much use in it in the long term. But it kind of all started when in 11th grade, around November, or November of 11th grade, I had a really close friend, Andre Green. He went to my high school in Richmond, and he was committing to he had like, I think, like 40 offers. He was one of the top receivers in the country, and for his commitment day, me and him were talking about doing something different. So I've never done a painting of a person before, so looking back on the painting, it's really terrible. But at the time, it was all super new. So what we did is, like, I made this painting of him with his UNC jersey on, and it was covered by national news, or the whole school was there. A lot of people were there, and he put his hat on, committing UNC, and then right after ripped off this paper unveiling the painting of him with the UNC jersey. So then after that, everyone was like, everyone in my school kind of started knowing who I am and started recognizing me for my work and stuff like that. And then a few days later, Mac Brown, the head football coach at UNC, ended up flying down to Richmond to come to our school to meet up with Andre. And I happened to be walking past the football facilities at the time, and our head football coach called me, and he's like, "Kind of want you to meet someone." Ended up meeting Mac Brown, and I showed him the painting because the painting was there too. And I ended up talking to Mac Brown. I ended up doing a piece for him, shipped it to him, and then from there, I kind of just started cold DMing like 200, 300 athletes every night. And I think I got like one response out of like 1,000 athletes I DM probably. And that was Will Shipley. So it was a big guy at the time for being the Clemson starting running back. And from Will Shipley, I kind of did the same thing, started getting more people. I started doing everyone at UNC just because my UNC connections. And then it's just grown and grown. And now it's become a full-time business basically.
Wow, man, that's crazy. It's like, is it like in that moment, like how were you feeling? Like, wow, like I went from making what you would say a really bad painting to now now I'm working with this guy or this star that, you know, how was that journey?
Well, in that moment, I remember that night. I still remember that night when he revealed the painting. I remember people were looking at it, taking pictures, and people were like, "Did you do this?" and stuff. And before that night, people people knew that I did art, but nobody really knew that much. I'd post on my Instagram, but like I didn't have many people follow my Instagram because not many people in generally follow art pages unless you're really into the arts and stuff like that. So people didn't really know much about what I do and my work and stuff like that. So then I remember that night gaining like I think 100 followers, and I was like so hype. I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I remember being super excited, and that like kind of motivated me to keep like, wait, what if I just start messaging athletes? I wonder who I could get. And it kind of led to like, that's kind of what it led to. But I remember at the time I was I'm still super excited as I was then. But I remember that time it just was different because it was all so new.
Yeah. Look, man, that's an amazing story, bro, for real. And even to this day, like I want you to constantly like bask on that first moment. You know what I'm saying? Because man, just I can see you speak with so much humility too. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's not like something that I don't think you go around boasting about, right?
No,
but
never.
But to have that in your backpack, man, like that's a huge accomplishment, man. And I know we just met, but I'm super proud, bro, that you were able to like take that step and like really like push it to the next level. And so I'm guessing like the Will Shipley would like that was your first big break.
That was, well, I would actually consider my first big break the original piece, the one I did for my friend, because that kind of kickstarted the whole thing. But the Will Shipley was kind of different because that was a situation where I just put myself out there DMing someone that I had no connection with, anything, hoping for a response. And he replied, and I remember I did the piece for free, nothing, didn't charge him anything. I just like, can I do this piece for you? And I remember him posting me on his story, and he's like, fire piece by Kyan, Patel, like tagged me and stuff, and I was super excited and stuff like that. So yeah, it would be considered one of my first breaks. I mean, I feel like all the starting 10 pieces I did were all like big breaks for me because it kind of just gave me experience on how to communicate with these guys, how to go about running it, even though it wasn't a business at the time, just how to like operate, what I should say, how I should go about trying to like work with these guys. So it was definitely a situation where I had to learn as I'm going, because this is not something a lot of people do. Like in general, there's not many people who create paintings for athletes, and a lot of people who create paintings for athletes are creating them in a kind of fan way while they're creating a picture for like Tom Brady, but like Brady doesn't know about the painting, or like creating a picture for an athlete selling prints, but the athlete doesn't know. This is where I stick to the foundation. I never want to do like fan art. I always want to be working directly one-on-one with the athletes. So
Okay.
that was kind of more of a learning curve because no one's ever done it. So I had to kind of learn as I go.
Okay. So yeah, let's touch on that. What walk us through the process of like making a piece, right? Like what goes into like from start to finish. Walk us through like what your mind process is when you're about to make a piece for someone.
Yeah, definitely. So how it works is, I mean, it's changed over time, of course, with like the different clientele I'm getting, and like now my work's getting more attention, so it's different. So like in like today, if how it works today would be a lot of these guys will reach out to me because how I do it is if I get a guy who reaches out to me and I do the piece for him, we'll decide on a piece and we'll figure out good pictures and stuff like that. And then pricing depends on my sizing. So we'll talk about pricing. And what I do is I'll be like, hey, if we do a collaboration post on Instagram, I'll take a good amount of money off of the paint on the painting. I'll take a good amount of money off, give you a discount, help me with exposure. So that's how I get all these big guys to do collaborations posts with me because I'm helping them by giving them a discount, but it's also helping me by getting exposure because then after I release the painting, I'll typically always have a bunch of different people from like high school level to like pro level, always hitting me up. Hey, bro, I need a piece. Can I get one done? Always messaging me about different ideas people have, different cool, like even you, when you reach out to me with the podcast, I always have people hitting me up about like other different endeavors, even outside of just painting. So it's the process really goes where like I work a lot with the athletes. So like even throughout the process, if I want to keep it a surprise, I won't show them. But for a few guys, I'll be like, hey, here's how it's going. Here's a progress picture. Or I'll be like, did you want this? Do you want me to change the jersey color? Maybe the guy has this picture, he likes it, but he wants a different uniform combo. Since I'm painting it by hand, I can always change the jersey colors and stuff like that, or the helmet or background or whatever. So I keep it very personal. So me and him or me and her are working on it, and they're part of it as much as I am.
Okay. Hey, you got a lot going on, man. You got a lot going on. And it's like, I know that your following is going up and you're now getting in contact with a bunch of different individuals, right? How do you stay grounded in all of it, man? And that's where this mindfulness and this gratitude piece comes in. Like, how do you stay grounded in all of this?
Yeah. So I always think about it in the way that like at the end of the day, where I am right now, I'm super happy with. And if I look back when I was in 11th grade to where I am now, I would never have imagined some of the people I've worked with, or even that I would still be doing it. So I always think about that. And I always think about if there's no reason for me to get cocky, no reason for me not to be humble, no reason for me to think I'm the best, when I know in another 2-3 years, who knows what's going to happen. I may look back at this time right now and be like, wow, I thought I was doing so many crazy things, but look at me now. Look how much bigger things I'm doing. So I think it's always important to stay humble because also you never know when like any of this stuff could end. Like you don't know what could happen. There's always crazy stories about crazy things happening. Even saying like painting, you would think like, because athletes, you think about like, oh, an injury or something, but who knows? Something could always happen and it could all stop out of nowhere. So I feel like it's always important just to stay like really humble and stay very like, but also stay proud of what you've accomplished and where you've been and what you've gotten to, because like you could stay humble, but there's a difference between like being cocky and confident. Being confident is, I feel like, stems from like you being just like proud of yourself, you being like knowing where you started and knowing where you are now. That can create confidence, being like, okay, I can achieve anything I want. I can get, if I want this athlete, I know I can get in contact with them at some point. And I don't think that's cockiness. I think it's very different. So I think I always try to stay confident but humble.
Okay, now is this something, or is this a mindset that was instilled in you like growing up? Like, did you have like a significant person that, of course helped you cultivate your talents and things of that nature, but told you the true essence and the true importance of staying mindful, being grateful for the things that you will have in the future, and just constantly, of course, pushing forward, but just being in a positive space, because that will get you further than you tapping into all of this success and you getting big headed. Like, so like where did all this come from?
A lot of it rooted from my parents. They're very humble, both of them very successful in their fields and what they do and stuff like that. But especially my parents and people just I'm around, like uncles, aunts, grandparents, everyone I'm around as like a parental figure in some way. They are all very they all do very well. They're very successful, but I never hear them act cocky. I never feel like they're very flashy, very showy. They always act like they're not successful. They're not where they want to be. They like I said was saying before, they're confident. They know that they're doing well in life. They know that they're reaching what they want to reach if there's goals in their job, their family, etc. But they're not cocky in the way that they seem arrogant or seem like they think that they're better than everyone else. So I've grown up with people like that my entire life. So I feel like because of that, I was kind of instilled, especially with my mom and my dad too. But my mom being in the arts, my mom always was like, you just got to make sure you always just stay like really grounded to your foundation, especially with the arts. Don't try to drift away, do this, do that. Just stay like very keen on what you really want to do and what you want to accomplish, and really set your mind to it and just like push at that one kind of thing.
Yeah. So tell me, I guess, like, what made you choose oil painting? Right? You could have did anything. You could have did graffiti. You could have did, just drawing with pencil and paper. Like, what made you choose oil painting?
Yeah. So the reason I chose oil painting was I actually never did oil painting until I think the painting I did for my friend was like the third oil painting I've ever done in my life, because oil painting is a very hard medium to use if you don't know how to use it well, because it takes a long time to dry. It's very like a delicate kind of material rather than like acrylic that you can put on paint or a canvas and it'll dry within like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's a lot tougher material to use, but I kind of use it a lot because I like it the most because I am big on realism. So if you look at a lot of my work, it's very like, I'm not there yet where I want to be, but my goal is to try to be as realistic as possible and make each athlete look like a picture and look as realistic as possible. So I still have a lot more learning, a lot more growing to do to get to where I want to be. But that's my big goal. And oil paint is the best way to reach oil paint's the best way to reach like maximum realism because of how easy it is to blend skin tones, jersey fabrics, all these kind of things. It's probably the easiest in my opinion to use oil paint. And then I mix different mediums. So like the oil paint would be for the figure, the athlete, and then the background would be acrylic paint. And then I put, if you look closely at some of my paintings, there's like a little border that's spray paint on the edges of that. So I kind of mix a bunch of different stuff, but my favorite thing to use is oil paint just because I find it very easy to blend and make things look realistic.
Okay, that's dope, bro. So my next question, even in same realm, like, you chose oil painting. Why just athletes?
So athletes, the reason just athletes is, first, I always loved people, like drawing people. Even when I was little, I wasn't the type, and it kind of goes back to me trying to make everything realistic. When I was growing up and drawing little like things, cartoon stuff, I was never big on like drawing dragons or drawing like made up characters, monsters. Like I would do that once in a while as like a little kid, of course. But like if I was at school and I saw a police car, I would go home and want to draw the police car, or like a lawnmower. I want to draw the lawnmower. I'd like to draw things I can actually see. So that's kind of the root of drawing like people. But then the reason athletes is like kind of we talked about earlier. I've always been I've always played sports, played soccer my whole life, and I've always been really big into like I've always loved sports and athletes and just the whole sports culture in general. And ultimately, I feel like it was a niche kind of I found, because even now after 3 years, I look around to see who else is kind of who else is competition for me, who else is in my realm of work. And there's a few people, but it's very limited amount of people who do this because of the fact that it's hard to get in. I just feel like I got blessed with a great opportunity, and then also great athletes, great guys who were responding to me early before I started anything. I just was very lucky in that scenario, because I know a lot of these guys who do paintings of athletes as a kind of more fan art and wanting to meet the athlete. A lot of time these athletes don't even see it. They don't receive the messages. They don't see the painting ever. So I feel like that's kind of a reason for less competition. But then I also just feel like it's a niche. I feel like that's why I've been able to grow so fast and get to such big athletes so fast, is because there's not many people doing it. And because a lot of these athletes all day, they're getting hundreds of photos sent to them they have so many photographers taking pictures of their games, their practices. Like they get photographed all day. Walking in class, they have photographers all day. But I feel like it hits very different for them when they see someone take time to make an entire painting of them, handmade. Like every stroke is handmade, everything is hand done. And they're putting their time and effort into this one painting for like that individual. I feel the athletes appreciate it a lot more than even just a photo where they get so many of them. This kind of just hits different and more on a deeper level, I feel like.
Okay. So like when you're doing your art, right?
Yeah.
What's like your thought process in it all? Like, because for instance, like I feel like I'm an artist in my own right too, right?
Yeah.
But in some ways or sometimes, like I feel like I fall short on certain things, and that's because maybe I might have a blockage, things of that nature. Like, how do you keep yourself, or if you do have blocks, what do you do to get yourself out the blocks? And then after you've gotten yourself out the blocks, what does that process look like to actually start now finally being in your essence of, being in a flow, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I feel like me personally, I don't find myself in as many blocks all the time. I think that's a big reason because of what I'm doing, because it's not just because I'm not just painting just for fun and not trying to be like, I'm trying to be more creative. That's a big thing I'm trying to push, to try to figure out more creative ways to make my paintings different and more stand out. But I feel like because every piece I'm doing is for a new client, a new athlete, a new big star, I kind of just have that same amount of excitement for every single piece I do. But there are times when I'll go like a week maybe or a week and a half without working on anything. And I feel like I don't see that more as a negative. I see that as a kind of positive, because I feel like if I was to just do this all day, every day, and not take breaks, I feel like I could burn out, or not even burn out. I can just like lose the same passion I have for it. So I feel like I do give myself a lot of forgiveness if I don't go for a few days. I'm not on myself like, oh, you should have been going to the studio. You have stuff to do. You got to get these pieces out. You got to grow. You got to get bigger, all this stuff. I give myself a lot of forgiveness also because I'm also a college student at the same time. So I'm trying to manage school and a job basically at the same time. So I feel like the biggest thing to help me deal with these blocks is just like give myself some time off just to like re-energize myself. And then when I go back to the studio, I have the same excitement. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Cause like it never feels like work for me. That's the thing. Cause it's all natural for me. And it's a passion for me that like I was in the studio for like 4 hours, 4 hours. It didn't feel like a single one of those hours was work at all. It felt like I was just sitting there doing something I love and something that I have so much fun. I like blast music in my studio, watch a show or whatever, and I'm just having fun with it. So like if sometimes I do enjoy taking those days off where I don't work on it, because when I get back to working on it, I like form a new joy and excitement for it.
Okay. Hey man, super lit, bro. Super lit. I got a few questions for you, all right? And this is a few questions that I sent out to a couple of individuals, and they wanted to, integrate not only your art, but integrate it into the topic that we're talking about, which is mindfulness and gratitude, right? So one of the questions that I have in results to mindfulness and art, they stated, how has practicing mindfulness influenced your creative process when working on a new painting?
So like being like mindfulness is like, what do you mean by mindfulness? Like
so mindfulness is like a sense of being aware, right? Being aware of you. It could be being aware of your surroundings. It can be being aware of what you're doing in that moment. Just being mindful of yourself, right? So I guess what they're trying to say is like when you're painting, like how aware are you, like in the process, or is it just a thing that you just just do it like
yeah. So that's the thing. That's people ask me that sometimes. They're like, so like, are you sitting here just like really focused and really like locked in? And it's weird because like when I'm doing these pieces, it's like it all is coming so naturally to me that that I'll be like watching a show, I'll be listening to music, and I'll be like in my brain I'm thinking about the song. I'm not even thinking about the painting, but I'm just looking at the picture of that I have on my iPad of the photo, and I'm painting, and it just all like just flows and happens all naturally. But I'm not thinking about like, I'm not like, okay, let me put this color here. My next color I'm gonna do is this color. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of all just like kind of clicking at once, and it kind of like without even thinking much of it, it's all just kind of like I'll step back after like 10 minutes and suddenly I have a whole eye done. But I wasn't like, oh wait, let me focus on this individual stroke. Let me do this color, this exact thing, all this stuff.
Okay. Okay, okay, cool. Next question. This is gratitude in your everyday life. They asked,
Mhm.
what role does gratitude play in your personal and professional life, especially with when working with high profile athletes?
Yeah. I mean, gratitude is the biggest thing I think out of everything. I think like everything involving around my life. I'm super grateful for the position I'm in, the people I've worked with, and not even just the people I worked with in a way that they are such big athletes and they got me attention and stuff like that. In a way that I'm grateful for the way that I've created these connections with these guys. Like even Travis Hunter. I'm going to Colorado this weekend to go meet up with him because we have a new project coming out this
Okay.
weekend. And even him, like as big as a star as he is, he's one of the biggest guys in like sports right now. If I text him on and if I text him at any time, he'll probably respond. If he's not practicing, probably respond like 10, 15 minutes. These guys all are super nice. They're super like super easy to work with. No one causes a lot of problems. Everyone's super, they're all super humble. They're all super they have a lot of gratitude for the piece itself. And I think I have that's kind of I have a lot of gratitude for the way I've been able to form these connections with a lot of these guys, and in the way that if I'm working on some guys, like I did some guys at Texas, and if I wanted to get another Texas guy, I could always message these guys, hey, you think you could help me connect with this guy? And everyone always like, yeah, of course, let me put you in a group chat, let me send you his number, all of
Yeah.
this stuff. So I'm very blessed for that. And then just my everyday life, I'm just very blessed for the opportunity to be at a good school for college, and a college that also I'm very lucky that they support what I'm doing in the way that they gave me a studio here, my own studio to work on my stuff, which
Wow.
if I didn't have a studio, I wouldn't be possible. I would be sitting in a dorm room painting. That would be a mess. So like they gave me a
Right.
studio here, a really nice studio to work on my stuff. They help with some of the funds for my materials and stuff like that. A lot of the teachers know what I do, and a lot of them are very understanding when, oh, I won't be in class Friday, I have to go to this state to go meet up with this person, or this university to go meet with this person. And they're always very, because I go to Wake Forest, which is a smaller school, like the classes are only like 20 kids, so super understanding about my work and what I do. So I'm definitely really I have a lot of gratitude for my school, my family, everyone. I'm very blessed, definitely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a couple more, right? Uh, the next one is about balancing your passion and mindfulness. Again, as an artist and a student, how do you stay present and mindful while balancing the demands of both worlds?
Could you repeat the question? Sorry, you cut out for a second.
Got you. I'm sorry. So it says, as an artist and a student, how do you stay present and mindful while balancing the demands of both worlds?
Yeah, so that's definitely been something challenging, especially being a sophomore now. This year has been a lot more challenging with dealing with classes and doing a business at the same time. I have very good time management. I feel like I like to say I always focus on my school, get all my schoolwork done, and then whatever time I have left, I'll go to the studio because I know I'm here at the school and I've been given this great opportunity and stuff. So I want to make the most of it. And really the big thing in my mind is you have to have good time management. You have to be really dedicated to both. So my thing is I'll go to class, I'll get my homework done, I'll go to the studio, I'll come back, study, go to sleep, do the same thing the next day, really
Yeah.
just stay on top of it. And it's tough. It's definitely really tough because a lot of kids in school just have to focus on their grades, just have to focus on school. While me, it's kind of like doing two full-time jobs. You know what I'm saying? So it's been definitely on the tougher side, but I think I've been good at like kind of managing it. Definitely.
Okay. Amazing, man. It's dope.
Thank you.
All right. So next one is mindfulness in sports again. Working with athletes, do you see parallels between mindfulness in sports and in the arts? And if so, how do you integrate those practices into your work?
Do I see mindfulness between the
So
sports?
it says, do you see parallels between mindfulness in sports and in the arts?
Yeah, I definitely see it because I see it in a way that both require a lot of dedication and a lot of time and a lot of effort. It's just two different realms. The arts require a lot more mental. Well, actually, sports do too, but like arts are a lot more just like time commitment, a lot more on the part where you have to be focused to sit in front of a canvas for a while and work on these pieces, or be committed if you have deadlines, if you have timelines, to always get these pieces done, make sure your clients are happy. And the sports are the same way. You have to be committed to go to the fields, go run your laps, go to the tracks, go to the track, go to your workouts, go to the early morning grinds and stuff like that. You have to be committed in both. So I think that's a big similarity. And I think it's just different. Like arts is not physical. Sports is more physical, wear on your body, but the arts are a lot with mental and just a lot of commitment. If you want to make it far in the arts, you have to be committed to also learning on how to get better. And that's a big thing that I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to get better at my craft in general, because I feel like now I'm growing a platform. Now I have a good amount of athletes. Now, how can I take this to the next level where my pieces are not just, oh, that's a good piece and that's a cool athlete did, but like, whoa, that's a really sick piece of art too. Forget the athlete in general. That is like a overall really sick piece of art too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my drive to where I'm trying to go next.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So now we got 4 more. Okay, we got 4 more.
Yeah.
So we got gratitude for opportunities. You've had incredible opportunities to work with elite athletes. How has gratitude shaped your journey and your approach to building relationships in the industry?
Yeah, so I think it all goes back to what we talked about at the beginning. Is you have to stay humble. You have to stay really grounded. And I think a lot of people, especially if they were in my position, they could get a little cocky. They could be like, oh, I got Travis Hunter. I could text right now. Oh, I have DeAndre Hopkins' phone number. Oh, I have this person. They can get a little cocky where they think that they can just put out not as good as work, but people would still love it. Or they could get a little cocky in the way that they think that they're better than who they're working with. My thing is I always want to stay on like level terms with the athlete. So I don't want to seem like I'm under them or above them. I want to stay on where it's client and I'm providing the service, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I want to stay on the same level as them, but I still have the understanding that these are big time athletes. They've worked really hard to get where they are. And not that I'm smaller than them, but I still have to show like gratitude and understand. Maybe if they're not responding, maybe if I'm having trouble with getting a response from someone, or getting a photo or getting a payment or something, understand that these guys are really busy, and just stay very like, the big thing is just stay very like understanding. I feel like that's the big key part, is be very understanding along the process. Like I've had guys that I've done a piece for them. It's taking 6 months for them to send me a photo of them with the piece. And of course,
man, that could be tough.
it can be really tough, definitely. But I feel like at the end of the day, I'm like, I want to make sure that like I need them in this moment in my life and this part of my business. I need them more than they need me. So I need to make sure I always stay very grounded, stay humble, and always be very respectful of their time, as they're doing, like I'm doing a lot, but they're balancing. Being a professional athlete is crazy. Being a college athlete is crazy. Because I have a bunch of friends who are athletes, even at Wake Forest, and like even my photographer at Wake Forest, he's on the football team, and he'll be like waking up at 4:30, going to lift, going to train, and then he has class, and then like a 4-hour practice, and then he has to do homework and all that stuff. So I always try to stay understanding, and I feel like that's how I kind of stay humble too.
Okay, perfect, man. And you're doing it, bro. You're doing it, right? Just keep going. The next one, we kind of already touched this. It's about staying grounded. How do you stay grounded and mindful amid the recognition and achievements you received at especially such a young age? You kind of explained that earlier.
Yeah.
So we can move to the next one. Advice for staying present. What advice would you give to others, whether they are artists, athletes, or students, about how to stay present and practice gratitude in their daily lives?
Yeah. So the big thing I would give advice is, people say this all the time. So like it might just go over people's heads, but you really have to enjoy the journey over like the end product, because even and I talk to my parents about this all the time and my friends, even moments as big as even like Travis Hunter's moment when I went to Colorado, met up with him, he was such a big person for me to work on. And what happens, and this doesn't even happen with just him, with all these pieces I'll do the painting for them. I'll have so much like there's so much buildup. There's so much excitement for me. Like, oh, I got this big athlete. Okay, then we do the painting, and I'm enjoying myself doing the painting, and I'm getting excited. I'm like, oh, this is coming out sick. This piece coming out sick. I ship it to them. Then there's that worry, like, oh, I hope nothing happens when it's getting shipped. And then they get it, and I'm like, oh, I hope they send the photos. Oh, wait, could you send me the payment? Oh, if I'm traveling, oh, like, because I've never had a travel situation where actually I think Travis Hunter is the only one that has been super clean where he's there at the exact time. It's always been situations where like there's a random, they can't meet. I'm waiting for an hour, or like there's a mix up in location. And that's a lot of stress. In the moment, I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. Oh my God, this is so stressful. But I've realized then I take the photos, I put the post together, I posted, they accept the collab post. And then I see all these people hitting me up, messaging me, comment like, oh my God, this is amazing. But I realized that I used to always think that that was the most exciting moment. And like, that was the coolest part when that collab post goes out and everyone sees it and I'm getting all this attention. But I've started to realize over the past year that I've actually enjoyed the buildup, the journey to getting that piece done way more than even the post. Like, because the post, it happens, I post it. Yeah, I get notifications and stuff like that. It's cool and stuff like that. But the actual buildup, the moment of me making this piece, the moment of them responding to my DM or them hitting me up, that all together is so much more powerful and deep than just the post has been. So I feel like that is a big thing I've started to realize and understand.
Okay, all right, dope, man, dope. You answer these questions like a professional, brother. you had some media training, huh?
I appreciate that.
All right, and then last but not least, from the Q&A, this is the mindful reflection. Can you share a moment where practicing mindfulness and gratitude helped you overcome a challenge or find clarity in your path as an artist?
A moment of challenge, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So definitely a moment of challenge would probably be let me think. I wouldn't say it would be more about it doesn't actually like retain to the arts, because the arts I feel like I haven't had as many challenges with, which I've been very lucky about. I feel like I've been on a very steady upward path. I've had ups and downs where I've had like dry spells where I haven't been able to work with anyone that I really want to work with for a few months, and no one's sending me pictures for a few months. I can't post for like a month or two, but I don't really see that as challenges. More, I think it's in like a more of a life aspect. Around like 8th grade, I changed schools. I went to St. Christopher's in 8th grade in Richmond, and the academic levels went way up and compared to my previous school. And I think I started to realize, because I struggled a lot academically and just like making sure I'm on top of my stuff. I learned a very valuable lesson of just like always realizing the hard work will get you the farthest. Like, yeah, you might not get a good grade. You might not do well in something like that. You might not get exactly what you want. But if you really grind and you really work hard, literally everything will happen and it'll all happen the way it's supposed to happen. But you just have to put in the time. And I feel like that's a challenge I dealt with in 8th grade, is not realizing that. And I kind of carried, and then as high school went on, I became a lot better, adjusted a lot better. But then I carried that into my business, where I know that like if I don't work hard, and not even just in the way like I need to get these paintings done, if I don't work hard in the way like thinking about ways to expand my business outside of just doing these one-off paintings, like me and my team are talking about all these different ideas now we have of prints and mass producing and trying to grow this to a whole nother level. But if I don't put in the time where I'm doing my research, where I'm trying to get better at my craft, where I'm really thinking about these next steps, it's just all for nothing. It's not gonna grow the way I want to. So I feel like the challenge I faced in 8th grade, where I struggled academically, is kind of shaped the way I take on the rest of my life in that way.
Okay, that's amazing, man. That's amazing, bro. And again, like I'm so happy for you, dude. Like, you know, just
thank you.
Just where you're at, you know, so young, you know what I'm saying? You're 19 years old. A lot of kids, I'm in the mental health field here in Richmond, and I wish a lot of kids had, you know, the mindset that you have, you know, to get out of the spaces that they're in, right? Because again, they all are so creative, right? You know, we can have a million artists like yourself, photographers, videographers, podcasters, but it's like they get so stuck and down on themselves, that they're unable to really realize the true potential that they have. They're unable to practice mindfulness because of things that they deal with in the home. They're unable to practice gratitude because of things they deal with in their community, which then doesn't allow them to be able to tap into that artistry that they really do have, right? And so again, when I see someone your age, constantly pushing the envelope forward, constantly, making himself proud, I know you're making your family proud. It's an amazing thing to see, man. Again, that was another reason why I wanted you on this platform, because we need the next generation like yourself to come up and let these individuals know, like, yo, you could do it if you put your mind to. It might take you sending 250 DMs, but that one is
cold calling, messaging. Yeah, no, you're right. You got to just put the time in. And I think a big thing is like, kind of going back on the last question, a big thing that like I have, like, you can't see it, but I have this board on the back, and I have a bunch of quotes and like photos of family and stuff like that. But a big quote I live by, is even on my lock screen, is everything happens for a reason. Like whatever happens is gonna happen, but it's you don't have control over if that stuff's gonna happen. You have control over shaping what possibly could happen. So like even in my business, like I have control over what work I put out. I have control over making the most of every opportunity. I have control of putting out the best work, of being really having a lot of gratitude, feeling lucky about it. I have those control. I don't have control over who's going to respond to me, who's going to message me, what athlete I'm going to get next, what big opportunity I'm going to get next. That all happens for a reason, and all happens when it's supposed to happen. But I feel like right now, I'm big on control what you can control, and work as hard as you can on those things that you can control.
Yes, sir, man. You're gonna do it, man. I have faith in that. So let's talk about some future goals for your company, right? So future goals for your company to grow it in another level. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, so in the future, like I was kind of mentioning a few minutes ago, me and my team are kind of working on ideas on how to grow this in a way where we can mass produce this stuff. And we don't have stuff finalized yet, and nothing is really, we're just in the works. We've been in the works for the last year now. It's just very tough with a bunch of different aspects, such as licensing and getting approvals and stuff like that. But trying to figure out a way that if the athlete, a way to use NIL to get the athletes paid in a way that I make these pieces for these players. We have the athletes maybe sign a bunch of prints, and then we sell these prints, or we bid these prints off, and a portion of that money goes to the athletes in a way of NIL. Portion goes to me and my people, and then a portion maybe has to go to the school for licensing purposes. But that's kind of what we're figuring out, is how all that world kind of acts. But there's not much I could say about it yet, because I just don't know much about it, and a lot of it's kind of under wraps. But like, that's kind of the big kind of aspect, is just to figure out a way where we can get my work into more people's homes. Okay. Make like millions of paintings, because I'm not a robot. I gotta hand make these. So what way can we do this in an efficient way?
Right. Now, with all that we talked about tonight, right? We talked about the future. We talked about what got you into it. I mean, honestly, the last question that I have to ask you, man, is like, what drives you to keep going? Because I mean, you could have gotten the accolades and the success that you got, and you could have been fine with that, maybe moved on to something else. But what keeps you going? What keeps you pushing on this journey?
I think the thing that pushes me is really the literal like love for what I do. I have such a strong passion for it, and I have such a strong like joy for it too. I find it so much fun. I never go to the studio and I'm like, oh, I'm so tired of painting. Like, even I've had teachers in the past, really good teachers of mine back in high school, being like, Kyan, don't do it too much, you might burn out and stuff. And yeah, they are right, but I have such a fun time working with these athletes and working these paintings that even if it wasn't like, I don't think, even if I was in a scenario where I wasn't getting paid for this stuff, I don't think I would still quit. I think I still would do it, because for me, it's not even about the money. It's not about anything. It's me just really enjoying meeting such cool people. Like, these are guys I've seen, like, especially a lot of pro guys, like DeAndre Hopkins. I've watched him since I was like 8 years old, or whenever I started watching football, I've watched him, and then suddenly I'm on a FaceTime call with him. Or like these guys, these college athletes that like hit me up, like Travis Hunter, when he hit me up on Instagram. I think the weekend before I was there watching his Colorado game the other day, or last year I was watching his game, and then for these guys for me to be talking with these guys is just, it's surreal, and it's just I have such joy and so much fun doing it that I feel like I wouldn't even stop. Like there's nothing that could make me stop. I feel like unless I was
Okay.
like forced to stop somehow. There's nothing
Yeah.
that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not about money. It's not about anything. It's literally just about this pure like passion for it.
Okay. And look, man, that's amazing, bro. And again, I just want you to keep going, bro. Like
Appreciate
the
that.
sky isn't even the limit for you. You
Yeah,
feel what I'm saying? And the
definitely.
more and more you keep pushing towards your goals, the more you trust in the Most High, the more you constantly make plans, the more you constantly tap in with the right people. Everything that you put your mind to will happen. Everything will happen for that
Of
reason.
course.
You feel what I'm
Appreciate that.
saying? So I'm gonna shift because we're about to be on the
Okay,
hour mark. I have a part of the podcast where I call 100 thought provoking questions, right, to all my viewers or to all the interviews that I bring on. And we're actually on number 56. So you're like the 56th person to
okay.
answer this
Cool.
question.
Okay.
And the question of the day is, what advice would you give to someone just starting their entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah. My biggest piece of advice is don't be afraid to take the risk of cold calling. I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned is these guys are huge. And like I'm talking from this is regarding any business, but from even my business, these guys are massive. And now I'm a little more comfortable. But even when I only did one guy, and then I just started DMing these messages to these guys, being like, hey bro, I'd love to work with you. And I know it can sometimes be scary and stuff, but like cold calling can get you so far. I know like in the modern day now, people don't do it as much as they used to. Back in the day, people used to cold call for everything. Now it's a lot more like, oh, I need to gain this connection and meet with this person and get an interview with this person and try to get to this person and work your way up. In my mind, I'm like, if I'm confident enough that if I am persistent and I figure out a way to message some of the biggest athletes in the world, I know I can get a response from them because I'm like, nobody's cold calling, nobody's just messaging people without because everyone's so scared to take that risk. And even just from an entrepreneurial point of view, not even the arts way, like don't be scared to reach out to that company to be like, hey, I have this product, I would love to see if you would be possible, would you want to endorse it? Or reach out to those investors, be like, hey, I have this cool product that like I think has the chance to be great, would you like to endorse it? Like it can definitely be scary and it's definitely a risk, but there is no one, even if you look at some of the most successful people in the world, there's not one person who made it as big as they are by just following the rules, by being like, okay, I'm gonna go to high school, I'm gonna go to college, I'm gonna get the degree, I'm gonna work at this job, I'm gonna do this internship, I'm gonna work my way up. They took the risk. They're like, okay, wait, once I got into the world, I didn't do this that most people in this position would do. I went this other way, and they took that risk, and that's how they became so successful. So you have to take the risk, and cold calling is the end. Like I'm telling you, that's the biggest thing. If you just randomly reach out to people, you'll be shocked who will respond to you.
Right. And I'll add to that. Don't have an automated system.
Oh yeah. You might think people might think you're a bot.
Do not have an automated system.
Can't be doing that.
Will get blocked.
You might get blocked.
Hey, listen, Kai, man. I appreciate you, man. Just taking the hour of your time to just tap in with me, despite all of the hoops and things that I had to jump through.
I'm happy it worked out.
Get you on. Like I did what you did, man. I just stayed persistent.
You got
feel
to.
what I'm saying? I stayed consistent, and I was able to have you on this platform. It's definitely an honor. Maybe one day we could do a part 2 when you actually get to that next level of doing the NIL, and we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, man. But again, I appreciate you, man, and we'll tap in again, brother. And I hope you have an amazing night, man.
Thank you. Likewise to you, and I appreciate you for this too. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. Don't look, anytime don't hesitate to hit me up too, man. I'm gonna definitely contact, wife, you need that.
Yeah. Hey, we'll get something in the works.
Hey, look, if the team is watching, I need it, man.
We'll talk about it for sure.
Happy wife, happy life, man.
Always.
All right, God, man. I'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right. All right.
Oh man, that was an amazing show, man. Look, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna say this. Y'all are crazy in the chat, man. I had to kick so many butts off the chat. I didn't know what was going on. You got people up here talking about Diddy. This supposed to be about positivity, mindfulness, gratitude. Why are we talking about Diddy in the chat, man? What is going on with y'all? African. What it say? What Bobby say? Bobby been wanting to shine all night. How's that 45 in your African? Bobby, this is why I had to time you out, man. This is exactly why I had to time you out, man. I'm just getting craziness in the chat. Craziness in the chat, man. But look, I appreciate y'all. My guy, No Dream Straight Chaser, bless up to you and your journey, brother. That was an amazing show, man. Like I had amazing time talking to the guy. You know what I'm saying? 19 years old, man, out here really doing it, right? And this is what See Your Greatness Studios is about, like highlighting the greatness that's in our communities around the world. Honestly, again, like I want to be so impactful to where I'm able to, bring high level individuals up here who are positive, who want to see individuals be great and live in their true essence. You feel what I'm saying? And again, that's a reflection that it doesn't matter how old you are, whether you're 18, 19, 35, 45 years old, like find a passion, stick with it, and trust in yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Be mindful of and be grateful of the things that you have for yourself. Like I started this off of literally just a cell phone and me talking. It wasn't all this extra, you know what I'm saying, pizzazz to it. And I didn't have all the intro videos and things of that nature. Like it was just literally me talking in front of my phone and just putting myself out there in a way that I knew best. And that was just being myself. You dig me? So look, man, it was an amazing show. Words of wisdom, man. Words of wisdom tonight. Let's go ahead and get the words of wisdom out. I always gotta lead the cast with some words of wisdom. You dig me? Where we at with it? 1 second. Dang, that was dope, man. Like I love that, bro. Like so impactful. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat tonight. Shout out to everybody that was watching tonight. All right. So this actually is a quote from the beautiful Felicia Rashad. She said an amazing quote, as far as what helped her become, such the person that she was, growing up. And it stuck with me, right? And the word of wisdom that she had is the inner reality creates the outer form. The universe bears no ill to me, and I bear no ill to it. That's very, very powerful, and it's true, man. What we think inside of our mind before we say anything comes and is made whole, right? It becomes a part of our reality. And there are a lot of individuals struggling in life because they don't understand that what they feel inside, what they're thinking about inside, how they feel about themselves is pushing them deeper into that space, into that lost space, and locking them in a cage of not being able to truly let their light shine. Like we all have a piece of God within us that really wants to spread its wings, but a lot of the times we, are in situations, or we put ourselves in situations that puts us in the dark and dims our light out, so much so that we don't even know who we are anymore, right? So when we start to work on our inner reality, everything on the outside of us will become our paradise. It will become our heaven, right? It will become our heaven's gates or our protection. And it all starts from within first, right? It all starts from you seeing your greatness first. Nobody out here in the world, not me on this podcast, not the idols people idolize, not celebrities, whoever, like sometimes not even your friends and family can help you get out of the situation that you're going through, that you're dealing with. It takes you, right? It takes you realizing your power. And if it is a point to where you're just so down deep in the dirt that you need a little water sprinkled on you so you can grow, then okay, go seek support and things of that nature. Go seek, therapy. Like I'm in therapy now, right? As much as people might think that I have it all together, like there are moments and times to where, you know, I do have it together, but I do got to go tap in with my coach. Kobe and Michael had Phil. You feel what I'm saying? Tom and Rob, they had Bill Belichick. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like we all need somebody to give us that little bit of guidance. In the Matrix, you know, if you're Neo, you needed to go talk and have that sit down with the Oracle so that you can realize what you were here to do. What is the mission? Right? And when we finally figure out what our mission is and we do it through certain mediums, whether it's through art, whether it's through podcasting, whether it's through sports, whether it's through motivational speaking, you feel what I'm saying? When you find that passion and you're staying on mission, the Most High is going to bless you along the way. Each and every time. It will not fail. But the moment that you turn yourself back on yourself, or the moment that you turn your back on yourself, the moment that you turn your back on the Most High, the moment that you turn your back on your mission, the moment that you turn your back on your passion, that's when everything gets left in the wind, waiting for you to come pick up the pieces again. So again, man, the inner reality creates the outer form. The universe bears no ill to me, and I bear no ill to it. I appreciate everybody that tapped in tonight, even the bots. Yeah, I had one kid come in here, man. He took a screenshot of me, got into the comments and said, hey, we look alike. Is this what happens when you open the floor up to anybody to be able to come comment? You feel what I'm saying? Do I gotta get a moderator? Do you know how hard it is to be a host, and you gotta look at the comments to make sure nobody quoting or putting nothing stupid in the comments? Man, it's crazy out here. It's crazy out here. You know, you can tell it's little kids, man. It's only little kids that's out here doing stuff like that. But it was, some of it was funny, but some of it I'm like, look, I gotta ban this person. Shout out to Maddox. Maddox was holding it down a little bit too in the chat. Real stuff, Christopher. I appreciate you, Maddox. I appreciate everybody that came in here, man, tonight. My guy Dante, my guy Godfrey in here. Tavon showed up. Leona showed up. We got Urban Matrix in here. Who is it? Is it AJ? AJ showed up. Like, everybody showed up, man, and I appreciate every single one of y'all. I'm about to go ahead and hang it up tonight. About to go chill with wifey, man. This was a great show. If you are interested in tapping in with me, man, here's the link. Here is the link. Okay, you can tap in with me on all platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You feel what I'm saying? Just shoot me a message. If you want to get on the podcast, we can do that. You feel what I'm saying? You know, I'll send you a template. You send me back like a bio and things that you do, and you know, we can set you up with an hour session too. If you want to learn how to, you know what I'm saying, be great like me, whether that's podcasting, maybe you want to build a website, right? Maybe you want to learn different tools and resources on how to start your entrepreneurial journey. You can tap in with me too, and I can definitely help you. I don't know if you guys noticed that in the beginning, man, I had an amazing commercial that is actually going to air soon in 3 regions, right? Shout out to Comcast. I am a Comcast Rise recipient of 2024. Out of 100,000 businesses, 14,000 businesses across the United States were picked, and I happen to be one of them. So that was one of the the awards that they gave me. They created a commercial for me, and I'll play the commercial again in the end. Other than that, you know, I'm about to get a whole technology makeover, cybersecurity. I get flown out somewhere. I don't know when, but I get to get flown out and listen to a bunch of Comcast Rise, recipients and other entrepreneurs and things of that nature. It's just an awesome thing. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm very proud of that. Shout out to my guy again. If you guys don't know, man, y'all need to tap in with No Dreams Straight Chasers. I said No Dreams Straight Chasers. I'm No Dreams Straight Visions. We definitely ain't a part of the Dream Chasers. You dig me? You feel me? But he actually is the guy that created the new See Your Greatness Studios podcast introduction song. I wanted to, have something new, where it wasn't, any cursing. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't. That's not the type of lifestyle that I live on a daily basis. I might slip sometimes, and I might use a curse word here and there, but I'm changing my ways, man. You feel what I'm saying? Because I know that there are individuals like my nephew who listen to my podcast. Sometimes my grandma, my mom, they listen to this podcast, and me myself, again, this is about being mindful and showing gratitude. I want to be mindful of the words that I speak and the words that I preach, because I don't want to be the reason that anybody starts being that way because of me. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm so thankful that he was able to create that intro for me, man, and he did an amazing job. Amazing artist. He's from out here in the Virginia area, but he's now currently residing out in Memphis. So there anybody in Memphis who needs some work, y'all need to holler at No Dreams Straight Vision. I'm gonna get my finger over there to the link. No Dreams Straight Visions, right? And y'all can tap with him super. Y'all can tap in with him on Band Lab. Y'all can tap in with him on Instagram, and I'm sure y'all can work. You feel me? Other than that, what he say is that real rap. You already know, it. But other than that, man, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, man. Remember, someone has to see your greatness. Why not start with yourself? Stay blessed, always finesse. Definitely trust the Most High's process. We're going to go ahead and replay this Comcast Rise commercial, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.
Looking to enhance your brand or develop skills that build meaningful connections? See Your Greatness Studios is Richmond's leading platform for content creation, brand development, and personal growth. We provide creators, entrepreneurs, and professionals with essential tools and resources, from photography to podcasting to mentorship and more. Explore how we can support your journey and help you achieve and sustain excellence.